Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Awesome.
I'm good. I'm making it home still.
All right, we'll keep driving safely. All right, so it looks like we have April. Hey, April, Keisha, Shashan, Sharika. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm excited for our first call of the year. This is good. Okay, I'm going to all right, so the lighting on this is just terrible. I'm on my laptop and usually I have my webcam and that looks a little bit better, but we're gonna make it work. So I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you're driving, that's fine. If you're stationary and you have a pen and a paper, that's awesome because we're gonna do a little bit of implementation and workshopping today. But there's also going to be a lot of things for us to think about so that you'll be able to come back to this. My hope, my vision for each of us is that we take what we talk about today and work on it throughout the week so that we'll have a solid plan as we, come out of the fog of holiday and break time and family and craze and anything else, whatever it was for you, and get back into, okay, it's time to get back to business, right? It's going to look a little bit different and be different for everyone. So I'm going to share my screen. As soon as I figure out how, here we go. I'm not used to being using my laptop. Okay, I got to do one thing first before I do that. Hey, Patrice. So people are going to keep coming on in the room, which is perfectly fine. Okay. Did I want to show this? No.
Well,
Okay.
while you do that, can you give us an update on you? Are you better?
Oh, thanks for asking. I'm a lot better. I'm feeling like a human again. I'm closer to myself. So yes, starting to feel like I'm starting to get energy. I spent the weekend, this was like my weekend before I softly go back to work. I had my follow-up appointment. My doctor's like, you're supposed to be off for a whole 6 weeks, like 6 weeks of work. And I was like, but do I really have to do that? So I'm going back next week. Well, this week, tomorrow. And with being mindful that it's only been 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. I think this will be at the 15th will be 4 full weeks. So I'm not that far off. But my restrictions and everything are still in place for the entire 12 weeks. So I have until March before I'm actually going to be able to do all the things. But I feel good. I feel good. So I took this weekend away from family and everyone else, and I was hiding out since Friday. I have been hiding out and working and thinking and taking multiple baths every day. I think I probably took like 3 or 4 baths today, baths and then shower. I washed my hair. I did all the things that I felt that I haven't been able to do for myself in weeks. So it felt good. It feels good. Ate yummy food. I had brought wine with me. I got cleared by my doctor to finally drink wine. Barely drank wine. The bottle, I've had like 2 glasses out of the whole bottle. I said I've been drinking ginger ale because I still have all this intestinal stuff, so I need to burp, which is interesting, but that's a whole nother conversation. But anyways, okay, everyone. I am going to share my screen. Hello, everyone. Come on in the room. One of the things I said while everyone was joining was that if you are stationary, great. If you're not, it's okay. You can go ahead. If you have a paper and pen, if you're stationary, use that. Be prepared to take notes because we are going to workshop and part of today's session. But we will have our Q&A and our open floor, and I know there's lots of stuff going on, and I'm going to try to touch on all the things that I've been talking to you all. We have been talking collectively about, but also what I've been talking to you all individually about. It is always so much to fit in, but I'm going to do the best I can to make sure that we have space and we have the opportunity to hold space for each other while we also implement, or get on track and try to do this, get this quarter planning out of our hearts and our minds and just like start executing. So today I want to talk about mindset, money, and momentum. As we step into this new year, it is really important that we are clear about where we're going. So in our last quarterly planning session, I gave you all that simple strategic planner, the simple planner. Many of you have started working on it and have submitted it to me. Some of you are like, maybe, you're considering it, you're thinking about it. Maybe you're waiting to revisit it for this quarter. Perfectly fine. There is no judgment here. This is a safe place for you. So wherever you are, you're right where you're supposed to be, right? So I just want everyone to feel okay with where you are, no matter what you've done or you have not done, okay? Because until you feel good about or settled with that, it's going to be tough moving forward, So in my experience, if we're still hung up on what I said I was going to do, or, oh, that thing that happened around Christmas, or I said I was going to be done, or by January 1st, I was supposed to, all that stuff we talked about in December, where I was like, release it and release it now. I'm still on that same energy, right? So it is what it is. Now we have an opportunity to shift our mindset, put our money where our mouth is, and get some new momentum and support each other and ourselves in a different way so that we can do what the heck we say we want to do, right? But when we talk about what you want to do, I want you to talk about what you want to do, not only with a sense of urgency and thinking about that massive impact you want to make, but also with a gentle thought process of like, am I packing on too much? Can I really handle all of this? Thinking about that thing we talked about, which was a common theme throughout last year, which is capacity. Be okay with just doing the one thing today and celebrate yourself. It's okay, right? So we're going to talk about this planning and breaking it down into bite-sized pieces. And what does that look like for each of us individually? Because some of us are used to doing 16 things at once, right? I remember in my 30s, I was able to do all kinds of stuff and did it well. Now, I'm like, I hear music going on. I'm like playing movies in my head. Then I'm like, should I sleep? Should I do this? I can't. So I have to be okay with where I am now, assess myself for where I am now, and just make a new plan according to where I am now. Okay. Yes, Nicole, releasing it is a process. It's a process. But if you're stuck on there where you were, what you didn't do, and all the other stuff that's behind us, we're not going to clearly move forward and give ourselves the best chance possible. So just give yourself the best chance possible. All right. So, let's see, we get somebody else in here. Okay. So, before we move on to, it is a new year, and I wanted to just kind of do a little bit of housekeeping and just let everyone know, remind you all, this is what we're looking at. And everyone on this call is a part of the mastermind. And I wanted to just remind you what support looks like here in the mastermind. And I also wanted to first, Keisha, thank you for asking me what you asked me. But now we have more people, I want to thank you all for your patience with me, your kind words, your messages, like literally everything that everybody did to make me not feel, to give me the space that I needed during my surgery time, to not, for me not to feel some kind of way or anything. I did the best I could to connect and follow up and do all the things, but there was like a good week and a half where I literally could do nothing. So thank you for your patience and for holding space for me. So your support, just as a housekeeping, your support in the mastermind on a daily basis looks like Voxer. All of us are in the Voxer broadcast channel. And I'm just recapping this for everyone, because I know sometimes, you're busy, right? You have a lot going on. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same page and we all have the same understanding of what's going on here. The Voxer broadcast channel is for me to send messages, notes, anything to you without back and forth. So it's broadcast. It's just like announcement, here it is. So that way it's easy for you to go back, scroll up, find things. And I know that you got the message. That's the purpose of a broadcast channel. There is a group of Voxer where everybody is at, and that's where everyone's talking to each other. I'm in there, I can see everything, but I don't normally respond in there that often. A lot of times you'll see Tashanta will jump in and answer questions, or mostly it's really a community thing for you all to talk to each other as well. Why is there community piece in Voxer? You know, to go with the broadcast, because the broadcast is there, and I'm speaking to many of you, specifically all of you that are in the legacy mastermind on a daily basis, right? So quite often. So I was trying to keep things clustered so that way, if you did need support, you did need help, you're already on Voxer, the app is on your phone, you're used to talking to me already, you're getting the broadcast, there's another way for you to connect. So I'm trying to streamline things, but also give you what you need for when you need it, however you need it, right? And a lot of these things, Voxer is always going to be a part of my process because it's just how I do coaching. It's one of the tools that I use in my business, so I'm going to continue to use it. But in addition to that, we are going to be shifting our other community back to a Facebook group. And the reason we're doing that is because you guys aren't using Heartbeat. It's very simple. It's very simple. And it's that's once again, no judgment, no anything, but I'm wondering, and I told you all there'd be a lot of optimization in here because I'm always testing and trying to figure out what's best for the program and for you individually. You're all running your businesses on Facebook. So if we have a Facebook group, that might be an easier lift or easier thing. So that way communicating with the group and following up and seeing things and responding to accountability posts that Tashanta does on a weekly or monthly basis might be easier for everyone. So that's what we're going to do. So, Zena and actually really Kathy is committed to taking that lift for me and moving everything over to the Facebook group. And then we'll be inviting you all in like the next day or two to the group. Streamlining again, right? And this is something that I talked to you all about months ago. Like, this is what you should be doing in your business too. You try things for a season, you test, you look at the analytics, and it's like, how can I make this better? Or do I need to make a shift? All right. So that's your daily support. Your weekly support looks like audits, where you can submit something for me to review every week. And then we go back and forth. Either I create a video for you, or we go back and forth on the Google Doc or inside Voxer. And then you have your weekly Zoom call, which is every Thursday at 6:30. That has not changed. Okay. And then you have weekly accountability, which is spearheaded by Tashanta. And that accountability will look like the Voxer messages. She might slide in your DMs, or Voxer, however y'all been communicating, she'll continue doing that. She might make some changes to that based on like what she's also seeing. And Tashanta, if you want to interrupt me and talk about it, you can. What she's seeing, where people are responding, those that are not responding. There's like a really gentle balance between her harassing you and her holding you accountable. So I want to make sure that you all know that she is watching and she's there, and she's also there to support you with your accountability to make sure you actually get ish done. Okay. Based on what you said. So we're not making things up. It's like, you said you wanted to do this. So now how's it going? Right. So on a monthly basis, so that accountability is also going to be just like it was, she had the post and everything inside Heartbeat. Again, that will be in the Facebook group. So we're going to be doing, and then the monthly support looks like your one-on-one calls with me. Ideally, when everyone joined, if you joined the impact level of the mastermind, it didn't include a one-on-one call, but I realized, again, optimization, that I'm losing you, meaning like you're parenting, your life is lifing, you're working, you're doing all the things. And that even if it's once a month, me being able to get on a Zoom call and look you in your face and like share a doc with you and talk through it, just kind of resets it for me. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like it's been tremendously helpful for me to meet with you all monthly. So that's why I'm just going to keep that one-on-one call for the impact level. And of course, the legacy level, I'm meeting with you already every 2 weeks. And we are talking almost on a daily basis inside Voxer. And also, we'll be doing, we're adding on a monthly masterclass / expert. So the masterclass will be something that if I am an expert in it, I will be teaching, or to be something that we're bringing in an expert to teach. I already have 4 experts slated, and I'll be announcing those in the months shortly. Give me 1 second, everyone. Okay. So yeah, so we'll be doing the monthly masterclass and we'll have an expert. We're also going to be doing the marketing tactics. So a lot of you saw the promo and the, what we've been doing around the marketing accelerator. That is really your program. So the accelerator is something that I created, and I say am because it's going to roll out over the course of the next 12 months for to bring all in the RAM method, all the like visibility pieces together in one strategic tactical plan. So monthly, you'll be getting marketing tactics. So if anyone had any confusion over what the accelerator is, it's just so if people wanted to just have access to the marketing tactics and not to me or anything else that the mastermind offers, then they can purchase that as a separate experience. But it has nothing to do with the mastermind other than that piece is pulled out and sold separately. So it's almost like if I just was like gonna sell the audit, like you can send me an email or submit a form, but I will never speak to you, but I'll do an audit for you, So it's just like taking one piece of what I'm already adding to the mastermind and offering it as a separate offer, okay? Instead of me building a whole completely different thing. So those monthly marketing tactics will be starting this month in January. In addition to that, you have your design requests. Don't forget, you have your monthly design requests. Many of you that are in the legacy mastermind, we're working through things like whether we're working through your brand experience or working on, meaning like experience, meaning like your visual brand assets, or you were doing global design.
He has an amazing team.
1 second. Okay. Somebody's not muted. There we go. Okay. Thank you, whoever did it, because it's just muted. I don't even know who it was. And then also you have your monthly accountability. And then we're going to be doing monthly implementation sessions as well. So co-working was working, but then it wasn't working. I need things that are going to work and move the needle for each of you individually and for us collectively as a group. So what I noticed with the co-working is while some people were coming to co-work because they needed that quiet time, many of the co-working sessions ended up being coaching sessions because a lot of people didn't show up. So it's like, well, I got you on the call tomorrow. And then we ended up talking through a new strategy or I ended up answering questions as opposed to actually working. So that's why I'm shifting from co-working and I'm calling it implementation, and they'll have a different strategy. So like whatever we're working on for marketing tactics, whatever that monthly masterclass is, whatever the focus of the program for that month will be, we'll do an implementation session for that thing specifically. So for example, if we're talking about email marketing, the implementation will be, you will write your email marketing, your email welcome sequence, for example. So it's 4 emails. At the end of the implementation session, you should have implemented and written those 4 emails so you can walk away. And at least I know during that month, you got something done that you are proud of, that you can plug into a system in your business and fix it. It's done. When we come back and visit it, of course, we're just talking about optimizing it or changing it or testing it or whatever. We need to start getting those systems put in place so we can start to follow the data. Okay. And then the additions, I already mentioned the marketing accelerator, which is the tactics that starts in July. I have more templates that Vicus, he's the lead on our design team. And he's working with Kathy to help us build up some more templates and systems, which will go along with the marketing tactics that we'll be doing on a monthly basis for the year. And then Kathy is also working with me. There's so many things. Poor Kathy, I have her working. But we actually have it in order, but it's like, girl, we got this. We're going to be working on giving you all access. So I don't know, again, if that looks like a code or what, but to everything that's in the kids business shop, the updates, because we have not launched that yet, because I don't want to launch anything. And I would tell you the same thing unless I have everything built around it. And I know I do things quick and done is better than perfect, but that's a shop. And I have a different plan for that. So while you see me do things imperfectly all the time, even the accelerator launch that was done, I think Sharika messaged me and was like, why did you do a Google Doc? Like, what's up with that? As opposed to building a whole sales page or a funnel. I'm like, because I just wanted it out. I was laying in a bed and was like, one of my plans before the end of the year was to get the accelerator out the door. So I did what was best with what I had, and I didn't overthink it. And it worked out. So But the kids business shop and a couple other shop-like things that we've been building, I want to make sure they're right because they are going to be hands-off products. So it's not going to be something where there's coaching involved or me at all. The kids business shop should run on its own and no one even really associate it until they look at the about page or whatever with Raising a Mogul. So it's going to be a whole different side of the business that's going to bring in leads for Raising a Mogul, but it's not going to be tomorrow based or focused. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And then of course we have Speakers Academy, which that'll be built into our plan starting in February. There's so many things, but I do not want to overwhelm you. So if there's anything that's like, this is crazy tomorrow, I don't know if I can do all this, let's talk through it. Okay. But I did want to take some time and just kind of, and I have this slide at the end as well, so that we can, if there's any questions, when I open the floor for questions and we start talking, we'll have it back. We'll, be able to look at it again and talk about it, talk through it, and I can answer any questions that you might have. All right. So let's talk about today's focus. So today we are talking about cultivating a success-oriented mindset. It is a new year. I don't want this to be all hokey pokey, like new year, new me, but whatever floats your boat, you plan it, you say it, you do it, but just don't overwhelm yourself. That's what I'm asking. Like, don't overwhelm yourself to the point where you are like trying to, like a robot, try to change every single thing. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to eat clean. I'm going to work out 5 times a day. I'm going to get my kids in order. I'm going to clean up the room. I'm going to redo my bathroom. I'm going to plant plants. I'm going to learn how to be a vegan. I'm going to learn how to garden. Okay. So we'll also talk about the essentials of money management really quick. These things we're just touching on, but I need to start talking to you all about these things because I want them to stay top of mind, not just for myself, but for every single person that's connected that I am working with individually and in this group setting. Understanding the 12-week year strategy. This is something that I love. And this is exactly this. The 12-week year is how I structure my life and my business. And it has been tremendously helpful for me and how I look at goal setting and planning. Then we're going to workshop a little bit of that out. We'll have a group discussion, open for Q&A, and then we'll talk about, again, this first quarter, and we'll take a look ahead of what's coming up, which is that slide you already seen, and we'll just kind of dive into that a little bit deeper. All right. Does anybody have any questions before I move on? Awesome. All right. If I move too fast, let me know. All right. So again, I want to preface this. Take what you need or take what's helpful, leave the rest. Do not judge anything I'm about to say. Do not judge anything that's going to pop in your head, and do not judge anything that anybody else is going to say. Okay. But I want to remind you about your mindset and how important it is that we take inventory or kind of pay attention to what we're thinking, what we're feeling as we embark on these new things. If we bring all that same old stinking thinking from last year into this year, or last week into this week, or yesterday into today, it's going to be a harder goal. I'm not going to say it can't work. You can't do it. It's just harder for you to move forward, to climb the mountain with all the extra, right? So we have to really start to commit to what does it look like for us to rebalance ourselves, find our rhythm, build some, find some harmony in our day-to-day, in our week, in our schedule, in our home, and with our kid, wherever it is, wherever you feel that disruption, you have to start to think about that, right? It's really important that for us to have a positive mindset, because it's crucial, not just in business, but especially for us as family, in this family business context, right? Because I did I write a post about that today, or yes, I can't remember, but it's like what we're doing. Actually, I think I wrote this post, and I wrote this post about April. What we're doing is like almost impossible, right? We all know this, but I think we forget that we're like the X-Men out here in these business streets, like the X-mamas. You know what I mean? Like most of the people that that are in business probably wouldn't even dare do what you're trying to do with your children while you're still trying to do what you do for yourself, what you do at home, what you do at work, what you do for your clients. It is next to impossible. So we really have to have this foundation for resilience, collaboration, to bring about that long-term success. Okay. So we already know that we have these unique challenges as parent managers, as parents in general that are also entrepreneurs and all the things, right? So I really want us to start really thinking about what we're letting into our space, what we're allowing to penetrate our ecosystem or our aura. However you think about it, you need to regulate it. So I don't care if that's phone calls you're taking, if that's a social media you're consuming, what you're reading, what you're listening to, the conversations you're having, things that you're volunteering for, things that you're starting, whatever it is, wherever you are in the spectrum, just take inventory. Just like give yourself like this week, just think about it. Like, dang, is that helping me? Or is that hindering me? Is that helpful? Is that going to help me take my next best step? I have been living in this space intentionally on purpose for months, really for like the last 2 years, but I have been really, really intentional about it, about taking this inventory and considering myself and cultivating the success mindset for the last couple of months. And it has been really hard. Like there are things that have come up with like my kids and just like, and it's like the soft spot, like my soft spot right now is my grandkids, right? So if my son has a fallout with the mother and like, I like me trying not to be a part of that, but then be so afraid that it's going to interrupt my flow with my grandsons, all of that is just so heavy. But I have to still get up every day with this growth mindset and decide how I feel about it and what I'm going to do about it. Can I do anything about that right now? Or is it completely beyond my control? And if it's completely beyond my control, I throw my hands up, I do my prayer, my meditation, and I release it. It still hurts, it still angst a little bit, but then like this is how serious it is. My kids could be having a conversation about something, whatever it is, in the kitchen. I'll be ready to go in the kitchen and get new tea. And I'll be like, whoop, I ain't going in there. Let me go sit back at my desk because I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. Facebook posts, video, anything that penetrate, I can't listen to that. Let me change this real quick. That is disturbing my spirit. You ever feel like stressed or upset and you can't really figure out what it is? I have literally seen something on my phone on social media and it disturbed my spirit, or email pop up or notification or anything. And then I feel disrupted. I feel stressed. I feel upset. And I'm like, what just happened that caused this shift? What made me fearful? What scared me? What upset me? And then I have to think about it, because if you're not in tune with yourself, things will just disrupt you, knock you off your course, ruin your day. The whole plan's on fire. You just want to either pour wine or go to sleep or watch TV or veg out or just be mean, whatever your thing is, right? But what you're not doing is what you said you was going to do. Because you allowed that thing to take control of you in that moment. So that was, just me sharing my personal thing, but I felt like it was important for me to share that with you because it happens, but we have to just get better at ignoring. That is really important when we talk about the success mindset. Ignoring things that happen, the latest celebrity craze, the crazy, wild, blah, 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 whatever it is, it ain't your business. Literally, the society moves on to something else every 48 hours, 24 hours, 2 minutes, whatever it is. We can never keep up. So if we mind our own business, we'll actually start to move the needle in our business. You know what I mean? Like all the time, right? This is where people do time studies. My ADD would not allow me to do a time study. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just didn't try hard enough, but my computer and my cell phone tell me how much time I spend on each app on my phone and my computer. So that's helpful for me, but me writing down every second of the day has not been very fruitful for me. So you got to find out what your thing is just to figure out where your time is being spent and whether you're using it wisely. Because we have the same 24 hours that the person that you're like, I want to be like her, I want to be like them, or I can't wait till I can. We have the same 24 hours. Right? It's just, what do we do with it? Like I sat in this hotel room yesterday and I got a suite on purpose so I could have a living room and a kitchen and all the things. And it was the longest day of my life. The longest day. 3 baths, a shower, I washed my hair, plucked hairs off my chin, I worked. I mean, the list, I made a long list, all of the things. And I was like, I felt like I was here for 3 weeks. It was one day. It was so wild. But there was all the things that I normally would have done that I did not do. That were time stealers. I was away from all of the things. Even the kids that I love so much, I love my kids, but they were not here. So just a thoughtful, right? Just a thing to be thoughtful about. So mindset as it impacts our children, they are watching us. Our anxiety spills over to them. Our angst spills over to them. The way we handle things, the way we snap, the way we lose it, the way we give people a piece of our mind, like we can afford it, all of that. We have to be mindful. Okay. So, and the other thing is, I really want us to, and I put this on here, is balancing that optimism with the realism. It's like, as we climb, as things, amazing, juicy, abundant-esque things happen to us, we still have to really be grounded, right? It doesn't mean ever that we think we're less than, or like we're not deserving, or we're not worthy. It's just making sure that our foundation is super strong and we are who we are and our integrity is intact and our belief system and our faith, whatever yours is, stays and remains intact no matter where this journey takes you. Take inventory, assess it, recommit to it, and just pay attention. So that's why I thought it was important for us to talk about that. All right. If anybody has any comments on that, you can please drop it in the comments, because I think it's important that we support each other in that. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can go on to the next one. So the other thing I wanted to talk about as we embark on a new, and this could be new whatever for you, is really us taking control of our finances, right? So now I'm not saying that everyone here is a hot mess in their money. I don't know. But you could be super amazing at it, or you could be like, I need to get it together, right? It doesn't matter. And again, no one here is judging you, and I'm not judging you. I'm not assuming anything. I just know that in order for us to get to where we want to get to, even in our businesses, when we talk about having a cash poor business or not having enough money to do the things that we really want to do in life, paying attention to our money and where we put our money is super important, right? I'm not a financial consultant, all the things I'm not. I know what it's like to have $5 and bet 500, and I know what it's like to have 500 and whatever, right? So I know all the different sides of it, right? I know what it's like to be in my daughter's business. We just keep it with business, be in the business and be like, dang, we got $400. Do we order labels or more oil? Right? What's the most important thing that we can flip to make this money back faster? But I also know what it's like, and I know what it's like to be like, the rent on the studio is $5,000 this month. I'm $2,000 short. What can we sell? And how fast can we sell it? Do we need to do a campaign? Or do we just sit here and be defeated? But I also know what it's like to make $180,000 in one day. And then try to figure out what the heck just happened and what do we do with it? What's our next best step? So I know both spectrums, and neither one is fun. Neither one is fun. So what I'm talking about is this healthy, manageable middle where we can actually start to predict what's happening in our businesses and what we want to make so that we can do things. One of the things that started me thinking about this is Sharika and her goals. She talked about moving and getting a new house and planning as a family for that. Patrice mentioned buying a new home and planning as a family and making that at the forefront of her goals. Very, very important, right? So we want to start thinking about those budgeting basics. Even if you're like, this is terrible, I don't know nothing about it, Tamara. Just the basics. Like, I spent $2 on coffee. I made $6 because I made a sale, right? What does that look like on a daily, monthly basis? Even if it's just an old raggedy notebook where you write things down, as long as you have an idea. But if you are the kind of person that swipes or clicks the button, now there's all kinds of ways you can pay, right? You've got mobile phones, credit cards, virtual cards, all these Apple Pay, Google Pay. It's so much easier for us to spend our money and then be like, what happened? What you mean it's declined? How do we had enough money? What happened, right? Because there's so many ways for it to go out, and we're just mindlessly moving. We're moving so fast. Again, all the things I just talked about, we're not taking inventory, taking the time to assess and check in with ourselves, that we're losing track of things, right? No judgment. Now's the time we can do something different, even if it's just one small thing, right? So the revenue streams for our family enterprises, really thinking about diversifying our income in our family business. And that's one of the things I talked to you about with the shop. I think was it Patrice or Sharika talked about 3 or 4 streams of income. I think it was Sharika. Genius. Like, that's it. That's that money mindset and that wealth building mindset and that growth mindset that we've already been talking about, right? Another thing around money I wanted to pay attention to is that cost management, right? Paying attention to what we are spending. Just because we're just starting, and y'all hear me say this all the time, does not mean we need to order a whole bunch of stuff or go ahead and take a chance on it. No, we need to research. Even if it's only $6, we need to make sure that we really need to spend that $6, especially if we haven't asked all the questions. Some of us, and I've been in a situation where it's like, oh, it's only 22 bucks. But then I look at other people and they're like, well, I don't know if I can buy this. I need you to answer 48 questions because it's 22 bucks. 2 different perspectives, right? I don't want to be stressed and stingy and stressed and all crazy about the money, but I also don't want to be so loosey-goosey if I don't already understand where I'm at this month or this year or wherever it's that $22 fits into my plan to buy my house, my car, my vacation, get my nails done, whatever your thing is, right? Some of us, mine is like every month I'm going to be at a hotel. So I need to make enough money so that I can take 3 days, 3 nights to myself at a nice little schwanky hotel, right? So how much does that cost me? What do I need to get there? Now I have a plan for it because I understand that it's important to me. So it's something I'm going to make happen. Okay. So that's really that's why this slide exists. And I'm gonna give you guys access to these. But I just want us to start thinking about that. These are the things that the rich are paying attention to. Mindset, money. Mindset, money. Whatever your product is, you could sell 5,000 next week and be broke in 2 weeks. We all know, we've heard the story. Someone wins the lottery and then they're flat broke within 2 years. Whatever it is, whatever is sucking you dry, pay attention to it. All right. So thank you for your comments. Sashanta says, I created a spreadsheet over the holidays on my expenses, both personal and business, and I need to see it on paper. Awesome. Yes, I'm a paper person, but I also have a spreadsheet. And I'm actually, where Kathy just has to design a spreadsheet. I have a budget planner for you all, for you to do your personal stuff. And I'm also working on a accounting, like a simple spreadsheet for you all, just to kind of track your business money as well. So I should have that to you, both of them, in like the next 2 days. Definitely the budget one, because we went over that one today, she and I on a call. So that one was pretty much done. She's just going to add the logo to it and just make sure the formulas that I built work. Fundraising. Tell me what you mean on fundraising, like tracking fundraising money?
Yeah, kind of tracking fundraising money. I know that you and I did something before last year when I was doing the first show. But yeah, ultimately, whatever you have on fundraising, I'm just looking to incorporate it because I'm starting this year. I'm starting now for
I
August.
gave you an event. I think it was an event for like where you can enter like sponsorships and stuff like that. So this one you could use the bookkeeping. It's a bookkeeping spreadsheet. That's the word I couldn't think of. You could use that and just track it and just name the funder. So we'll talk about it. So we'll probably either I'll do a Loom video or maybe I'll show it to you on like our call this week, because we still have a call this week on Thursday, and I'll show it to you and then we'll figure out how we can customize it.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Okay, so let's get into our 12-week year strategy. So hopefully you all are still with me. Let me know in the chat if you're still with me, because I've been talking, but this is important. So stay with me. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Awesome. All right, so the 12-week year strategies. This comes from a book called The 12-Week Year. It is a book that I read years ago. and I started implementing it into my business. I took a whole like strategic planning and like organizational programming class around it and like operations and plan. I did all kinds of stuff with it, but the way it shows you how to plan out your quarters, thus your year. I feel like it's super helpful. So I'm going to walk you through it. If some of y'all been rocking with me for a while, so you've already seen me do master classes and other trainings on this. And it's a 12-week year. It's Moran is the last name. I think it's like Brian Moran is the whole idea. It's the whole is the name of the book. Okay. So yes. So anyways, so it's the 12-week year sprint. The idea is instead of you looking at the whole year as a planning. So yes, we have our strategic plan, remember? And it has the 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Then we get down to our year. So we're in 2024, right? But what is the 12-week year is, it's like, it's a mindset shift to looking at your quarter as if it was a year. So it's viewing each week as if it were a month to intensify your focus. All right. Sounds a little wonky, but just stick with me. The benefits of this is like, if you're thinking about it as it's a quarter by quarter approach we've talked about before, but it allows for real-time learning and adaptation. So instead of you waiting to the end of the year and assessing how did 2023 go? It's like, dang, are you ever going to go through the whole year? And really, do you remember how Q1 went? Do you remember how you felt about your money or your mindset or anything in June? Because if you're not taking inventory on a quarterly basis. So it's also allowing you to not only the real-time learning, so you can shift and make changes and adapt, but also to prioritize for performance. So identifying key areas in your marketing, your sales, your service, operations, whatever is working, great. We need to say, yes, it's working. Let's do more of that, even into the next quarter. Whatever's not working, we need to shift and change. So it's allowing you that space to kind of do that optimization or that assessment before the end of the year on a quarterly basis. Okay. Typically, we look at the entire year, like I said, and then we just go through the year. We talk about quarterly, but we talk about quarterly in regards to planning the next quarter. It's not like, let's look at how Q1 went and did we reach our objectives? Did we meet our goals? What did we not get done? We just kind of start over with the next quarter and it just piles on top of each other. So it just like compounds that like yucky feeling of like, I am just I'm just a mess. I'm falling apart, right? Because I said, and then I add on and then I shift and now I'm going to change my mind. I don't want to be a gardener. I'm going to be a wine connoisseur. It's like we just forget about what we said we were going to do and what those goals were. And then thus we never really get to the end of the year having completed a solid set of anything. All right. So the other thing I threw in here, but I added in here that I think is really important is the RAM method and how that framework is going to also support us as we develop our 12-week year strategy. Okay. And remember, the RAM method is your revenue, authority, and mastery. And I'll talk to you a little bit about putting how that fits into the 12-week year strategy as well. Okay. Lastly, I would not be doing my job if I didn't talk about busy work. This is something that was personal to me that I really sat with in December. I think it was early December, because I realized that there was a lot of things that caught my eye or that I wanted to do, or I just overdid. So I overindulged in things that didn't move the needle, that didn't matter. So I've been a long time since I've gotten caught up in like the things I talked about, like the latest celebrity craze or other people's business and whatever. But there are moments when I was like, this is what I need to do for my business. I should I should do and it really just becomes busy work. So it's like not on the plan. It's not one of the 3 objectives for this quarter, but yet Tamara done spent 6 weeks or even 6 days or 6 minutes too long writing something out because now ChatGPT makes everything easier. Just because they can spit it out for you in 15 minutes, we're not thinking about the implementation, the execution, and actually living this thing out. And the fact that that shit was not a part of the original plan. What the hell are you doing? So, like, busy work. We are saying no to busy work. We're focusing on revenue-driven growth and impactful actions. And when I say revenue-driven, pay attention to that, because it does not mean it's going to make money tomorrow, today, or even next week, next month. It just means revenue-driven, meaning that it is in the plan, and I know this is a part of where my revenue is going to come from. So I need to build this strong foundation and build the systems around it, because it is going to make me money if I do. All right. Apparently I'm not the only one. Busy work, right? All right, so let's dig into what this really looks like. Like, what is this 12-week year and how do we work this? So the basic concept of it, again, is traditionally most people in business, when you're doing business planning, it's usually an annual thing, right? The 12-week year compresses this time frame into 12 weeks, effectively treating each week as if it was a month. Okay, so you got 12 weeks instead of 12 months. It's 12 weeks. So this month, which is this week, what are we getting done? So it kind of it's a mindset shift. It's like, whoa, what do you mean? But the reason I love this is because a lot of us perform best when our back is against the wall. We get stuff done when they're like, it's due at 2 o'clock. You'll be working your butt off. When they tell you that the deadline is Tuesday at 5 p.m., y'all be in my Voxer like, it's Tuesday at 4:58. We always get it done though. So why not give ourselves the space to actually get it done and get it done well and get it done right, right? We already know we can get it done. That's not the question. Whether you can do it or not, yes, together we can do anything, but let's plan it out. Let's plan for it so we can keep doing it, and we can do it, and we can do it well, and we can do it without feeling like crap the entire time. Crap meaning I stayed up because I'm exhausted, I'm too sleepy, I done yelled at the kids, I didn't eat nothing, or I ate bad, or I did whatever the yuck that comes in that goes along with stress, overwhelm, rushing, moving too fast, overthinking, in all the things. Poor planning, poor strategy. Okay. So core principles here: intensive focus. By narrowing down the focus to 12 weeks, this method encourages more concentrated and intense effort in specific goals, reducing the risk of losing sight of objectives over a longer period of time. So like if my objective is to get my email marketing campaign, my email system up, which is marketing campaigns, welcome sequence, onboarding sequence, delivery sequence, whatever that looks like for your business. We say that in January. By July, we're still like, I'm still working on my email. It's like, well, what the hell? It was that was in month 1, which is week 1 of your 12-week year. You didn't do it. So this is compacting. It's since we love to thrive under pressure, it's giving you that pressure right up front. Okay, get it done. Increase urgency. Again, shorter timelines create a sense of urgency, which can lead to higher productivity and motivation. We already know that, right? We just talked about that. Frequent planning and review. The 12-week year cycle necessitates regular planning and review sessions, allowing for quicker adjustments and more dynamic goal setting. I mentioned this earlier. Clear goals and objectives. Goals are set each 12-week period, providing clear and immediate objectives. Very clear. We're going to use a SMART system, right? And we learned that when we was little. It still applies. Sometimes we think because it was so long ago we learned it, and 50 million other new strategies have come out since, that it doesn't work. No, it still works. All these things have been, people did them before. We're just going right back to the basics and the foundation and just clearing out all the clutter and just getting shit done. Okay. So this plan that I want us to embark on is going to specifically help with creating more focus and a more actionable plan. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? We good? Y'all with me, or should we just, y'all want to leave? Awesome. All right. So when we think about implementing, when we think about implementing the 12-week year strategy into our lives, into our business, we really want to do this process of breaking down our goals. So now this is where, and I'll drop it for you in a minute, but this is where that simple planner, the simple planner that we use at our quarterly plan, and I gave you guys access to. I gave a lot of it to you again. I gave it to you again in December at our last call, the last two calls, I think, or last call. And that was modeled after this 12-week. So like with the 3 main objectives and then breaking it down into smaller tactics, very, very similar. So that document, I'm going to drop it for you as soon as I get to it, because I just don't want to shift screens, is exactly what we've already started this 12-week year plan, right? I just didn't say those words, but it's literally already. So if you've already started working on that doc, that's fine. We're just going to take what you already started working on and just build it out even more. Okay. I didn't know I'm supposed to turn it in. Well, we're supposed to work on it together. So some of you have already submitted it to me. It's not like a quiz or a test or anything. You don't have to share it with me. I just would like to know what we're working on together, because keep in mind, I'm your consultant. I'm your coach. So if you say these are my 3 objectives, it's my job to help you get there. So if I don't know, we're just on Voxer talking about the weather. So that document is very, very important. Okay. So we're going to take our annual goals and divide them into smaller, achievable targets to fit into that 12-week framework. So of course, that's taking your annual goals, breaking them down by quarter. Very simple, right? Then we take that quarter and we have, the months, and then we break it down to a weekly planning structure. Each week is crucial and planned meticulously to ensure progress towards the 12-week goal. So it's like, I know that in Q1, in this 12 weeks, I am going to launch my podcast. This is a real goal of mine. I'm going to launch my podcast. The Raising a Mogul podcast is coming back. We had a podcast for like 3 years, and I just decided I want to do something else, or I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't like it. So I stopped it. When you don't like things, you don't just let the bad things keep happening. I just was like, I'm done. Bye. And now I feel like I'm ready to come back and do it differently. I'm a different person than I was 3 years ago. So, in a good way. So I have so much to talk about. So that's one of my key objectives for my 12-week year, which is Q1, right? So that means I have to look at not just, am I going to get it done in January? First, I got to look at this 12 weeks and think, when do I want the podcast to launch? I know it's going to launch this quarter in my 12 weeks. Where does that land in the 12 weeks? And then I got to back my way into, okay, what am I doing this week? And to move me forward and closer to that goal of that launch date. What needs to happen, and organizing that. And that's what's on your document, is those actual tactics, those small little things each week we need to do to move us forward. Okay. And then we have the execution, emphasis on execution and the daily actions to drive progress towards the 12-week goal. That's just exactly what I just said. The benefits of this, again, is the urgency and focus leads to increased productivity. The system allows for more frequent assessment. This is all this. I just said all of this. Accountability, regular check-ins, and then also the achievement of the goals in a faster, at least a quicker and more frequent achievement of goals. And I like this piece because, I believe in a good celebration, right? So we really need to think about, once I accomplish this goal, what is my reward going to be? How do I celebrate myself? That's just as important as having the goal. Some of us think, I'm done because I wrote out my objectives and I have my goals and I know what I'm working towards. But no, how are you going to celebrate yourself? Because if you do not build in a celebration for yourself after each milestone, you're going to fizzle out, because then you're going to be resentful. You're going to be like, I did all this. You're going to be talking to yourself. Like, I did all this and I got my email up and it didn't feel like nothing. It's fine. So it doesn't really, there's no just like little kids. I love a gold star. Give me a gold star. I never really wanted a cookie, but I like gold stars. I wanted to see my name in lights. I wanted to see the gold star. I didn't like the red or the green star. I wanted the gold star. Sometimes the silver was all right, but you have to figure out what your gold star is and do it for yourself. So for me, I thought about it and I was like, it could be my hotel stay once a month, right? But I was like, no, I need the hotel stay so I can get to the thing done. So that can't be the reward. So I got to think of something else, whatever it's going to be. It could be a new pair of fuzzy socks. It could be date night. I have no idea. For me, I'm all like, now my life is wrapped around like candles and like other meditation like things. So it might be something like that. I've been eyeing some things that I might want, but they're not in my budget. So I'm like, and they're like, I'm talking about like $20, $30 things, but I'm like, nope, you don't need that. You already bought for last month. So maybe those would be my little rewards. I'll mail myself things. I don't know. You have to figure out what's good for you and attach it to a milestone so you feel like you're working towards something. Okay. Whatever that is for you. No judgment here at all. Could be ice cream. I don't know. So right now, think about that. So this is what this looks like. And this is actually, this comes from the 12-week year training that I did. That's actually inside your portal. It was
I have a question.
Okay.
Just to piggyback on it, you probably can't see me because I don't have my camera on, but I wanted to know like what that looks like because I have been making a conscious effort to celebrate myself. However, I don't want to it's not always motivation to someone else. You know does that make sense? So like if someone is just starting in business and they have not had leaps and bounds, it's almost like we look at a celebrity and be like, oh, they became famous overnight just because like Tiffany Haddish came out in Girls Trip. We didn't see all of the no's before she got Girls Trip. So, I don't want to, and I do want to also be transparent. And share the not so good days without impeding anybody else's mindset, because I do realize that sometimes it can be a lot to take in, which is why I had to, like draw a line with my children. So how do you do that because you all are the only ones that can understand. My transient friends, they're not in business. They're not, raising children with businesses. So it's not anything I discuss with them regularly. But in, this group, you feel more comfortable with it. But I don't want to be anyone else's Debbie Downer or make them feel bad about my success.
Okay, so is your question, how do you celebrate yourself without making other people feel bad?
Yes, ultimately, yeah. Or how do I even say I had a rough day, or I thought it was going to go this way and it didn't? How do I say that without shifting somebody else's mindset? Because they may be having a good day, and I just may be needing a little bit of reassurance, pat on the back or something.
And are you asking that question in context of this mastermind container or just in general?
Yeah, in context of this, because I don't really discuss anything that I'm doing with my friends.
Okay. My answer and what I believe is that you have to be authentically vulnerable and transparent no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your safe place and this is designed to be a safe place, and I'm intentionally doing things to make sure it remains a safe place, and everybody here is committed to that, then I don't think you have to consider everybody else's day when you come to share about your day. Do I think we hold space for each other? Absolutely. But do I think you should get ready to press Voxer and think, well, what if Tamara's having a bad day today? Maybe I shouldn't say it. I think no. I think it's your safe place too, just like it's anybody else's safe place. And I also think that whether it's a good thing, a bad thing, a celebratory thing, or a valley moment in your life, it's going to help somebody else in the room regardless.
Okay.
So your good thing, no matter how small it is, even if it's like, guys, I got dressed, did my hair, and was out the house and got there on time. Some of us nail that every day. Some of us don't. So that's a dancing moment if you don't, right? Especially if it's on your list of things that you want to improve or that you want to get better. Sharika said, I don't. Listen, what mommy usually does.
I don't either.
So those are the things. So that gives somebody else hope. Like Tashanta said, your happy days empower others. Yes. And your bad days are temporary, but your bad days can also empower me to be like, I'm not the only one. That's the other thing. We forget that our valley moments also encourage, inspire, and reconnect and make other people feel human. It make us feel seen. Because if you
I'm saying that
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's, that's what social media is. And that's why sometimes I tend to shy away from it because some of these people I know in real life, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't expect people to go in there every day and be like, my dog died, my house burned down. But sometimes it's okay to be, a little vulnerable and say, this is what's going on. I stepped in dog poop. I just got the car washed and whatever happened. I mean, it's okay, to say that, but I just, I don't want to rain on anybody else's parade, and I don't want to be, so that's all. And I know you said, earlier, so I don't about mindset. So I don't want to present as if I'm always in a funky space. If I'm just, temporarily like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened.
Right. But that's the thing, temporarily. And we have to trust the process and the community enough to know that we will hold space for you and not judge you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we've seen you in your good days. We've seen you on the spectrum, right? In different spots on the journey. So we know that you're not just out here, you're not like trying to ruin lives by making it, you're not
Right.
just
No. And I
trying
don't
to
mean
terminate
necessarily
funk.
me, but I
You
just
know what I
mean,
mean?
as
You
a
or
whole.
whoever it
Yeah.
is. Like, I feel like we're here, to hold space for each other without judgment. So some of the things that you mentioned sounds like that would be the case if you were in a community that was different than the one we're in.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So I think everyone that's here had a choice to be here. You spent time with me. I spent time with you. I had a chance to, to really understand who you were as a human, and y'all have experienced each other. So that's why it's a safe place. So I don't want anyone to hold back and not be vulnerable or really take advantage of this full experience because out of fear for somebody else's feelings, as long as you're in integrity and you're still being a good person. You know what I mean? Like that's not a concern of mine. And I don't think it should be a concern of yours because you're a good person. You're not here to ruin nobody or do anything. You know what I mean? Like, no one has ill intention. And I don't think that they would even say, they would look at it that way. Again, if there's 10 of us, say, for example, there's 10 of us listening to you talk about you having a bad day, probably 5 to 6 people will not be having a bad day, and they can hold space for you, hold you up.
Right. Okay.
If my day sucks too, I might just be like, girl, that's all you're gonna get, girl. Like, that's it. So now I need everyone that's going to respond to you. I'm soaking that in too. So Tashanta says your bad days will turn to victory as well. It's great to see the days when you struggle and then come out on top. Shashan says, I'm definitely encouraged when I see you all post when I'm not doing anything. When I'm not doing anything, it pushes me to do what I need to do so that I can be like, yo, and post too, good or bad. We all need it. Taquin says, I love an opportunity to celebrate and encourage everyone's wins and challenges. It's so encouraging. Nicole says, Keisha, I feel you. I hold things in as well. Thanks for posing that question. It's a very important question. Patrice says, I think being authentic, speaking your truth regardless, makes you inspiring by yourself. Yes. Yep. And Tashana said the bad days are temporary. I just wanted to read that because it's for the recording. So thank you, Keisha. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, because it wasn't necessarily for me, because I am gonna be me. But y'all stuck with me. So, but I know that other people do. They haven't said directly, but you can kind of see through the letters sometimes, or at least I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Rashida says authentic is key. I sit back and watch you all do the next big thing, and it inspires me. Nicole, I appreciate the space. Thank you. Yeah, this is our safe place. I mean, even when it's all hell's breaking loose, this is where we can come in and actually admit that it's all breaking loose. And I think, I had a back and forth moment. I think it was in December, like even like after when I was off like on break for for my surgery. And it was just interesting because I spent more time on social, just kind of looking at things, but I was also very, very careful. I was like blocking guarding my energy and protecting myself and making sure I wasn't diving into no drama on social. And then when I say drama, it could literally be some news story. To me, that's dramatic. As I get older, things affect me in a different way. And like things literally affect my nervous system. Like I internalize so many things and I just can't. So I'm getting better at blocking my energy and making sure that I save what I need to save for me and my family and you all, and, executing, right? And making the impact that I want to make. And I was thinking about sharing some of the things, even sharing about having a hysterectomy and some of the other things that I have coming out. And there's like things that's going on even with my grandkids. I'm like, should I talk about that? And then I was going back and forth between like, and I've talked to Shanta a little bit about this, like, how much do I want to share? Right? How much do I want people to know? And then I just came to the resolution and the answer my final answer, your final answer is, I don't care about what other people think or what other people say or whatever. Whatever I share will be because I want to share it. It will be because it's what feels right for me in that moment. It's me being vulnerable, me being authentic, me living my truth, speaking my truth, talking about the lesson learned, the hard moment, the celebration, whatever it is, clear and clean and completely detached from other people's opinions, feelings, emotions, comments, likes, or anything else. And that's it. I just made a decision. It's up to me. Whatever moves I make will have nothing to do with anybody else. It will be because I want to do it, because it's what feels good to me. And I'm also not going to be afraid to ask for help. So this is a safe place. If I need help and I need y'all to hold space for me, I'm going to ask for that. I have a right. That's it. Y'all all said yes. So let's test it out. And every single one of you here should feel that same way. So like if you are having a meltdown moment, you can tell me, let's talk about it in Voxer. But you also have all these other humans here that are professionals, that are brilliant, that are smart, that are vibrant and funny and authentic and transparent, that will hold space for you and say what you need to hear in that moment as well. So that's just a reminder. Like really, you just have to like get to the point where you just like, I don't give and just do it. Do what's best for you. And that's it. And take what you need and leave the rest. You're already a good person. So I know you're going to give back, right? So when my moment comes, or Rashida's moment comes, or Reese's moment comes, or Patrice's whoever moment is coming next, you're going to be there to hold them up. I already know you. We already know each other, right? That's what we're doing here. You wouldn't be here if you didn't trust it. So just do it. All right, so let's continue. This is just a visual of like the process. If you were thinking, if you're like me with this visual thing, like where I build these pictures in my head, if you're not like me and you need to see it, here it is. So we have our strategic plan. We looked at our 5-year to our 1 year, and then we take that 1 year and we break it down to the quarterly milestones. And then I want us to start thinking of that 12-week year and having those 3 objectives for each 12 weeks. So each quarter has 3 objectives. Then we break it down into the smaller tactics. So this was just a visual. And again, this training is inside the portal. I just pulled this from the 12-week year training that I did for planning. So the other thing I want to bring to your attention, like I already mentioned, is the RAM method. So this is the framework: revenue, authority, and mastery. It is very important that we are consistently considering these. So when you have your form and you form your planner and you start to build out your 12-week year, which is what everyone should be doing. And if you've already done it on your Simple Plan Planner, you can just go back and add these pieces in, right? Make sure your tactics make sense. So that way, I want everyone to know what you're doing this week. Even if you don't get to this until Wednesday, it's like, okay, well, part of the thing, my first thing is to get to this week, okay? Then we just take it week by week. Don't judge it, just do it. But we want to make sure that we are considering revenue, authority, and mastery. So when you think about those 3 objectives for the quarter, they should be revenue driven, they should be authority driven, and they should be mastery. So revenue, we think about revenue, it's like, will it make money? Is it on the path to make money? is the plan for it to make money. That's what we're here for. Not the only thing, but that's what we're here for. Authority is your marketing, visibility, being seen, being heard, making that impact, right? And then the mastery is learning the things. You can't just be learning all the time. You have to be mastering certain things, so then you can become an authority in that space, and then it will make you money. Okay, so I want to make sure that we have a good understanding, and we're building the RAM method into our 12-week year as well. All right. So let me see. Do I have my, where did I put the link for y'all? Oh, here it is. Here's the link to the,
Tamara,
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I didn't get that last thing down. You said goals should be revenue building, authority building, and then a mastery.
Mastery. Yep. Mastery. So
Thank
mastery,
you.
we always have the mastery piece where we're learning, right? We're learning a piece. We're trying to master this thing. So for example, we're thinking about email marketing. If we talk about like building systems, email marketing, for example, we want to master that. We have to take time, set aside time in our 12-week year, in our week, in our schedule, with our sacred time, wherever you're going to set aside time to master that skill. That means understanding the process and doing the thing, right? So that it could make money for us. And it can work in our authority. We're out here being visible. We're building our email list. So they all kind of play together, but we still have to set them up separately. I have the framework laid out separately for the three things, not only because it says RAM, but also they're important individually to think about, but they all work together. Okay, so I dropped the link to, that's the planner that you all already had access to. Let's start fresh. If you have not started it, grab this one, and then you can take a couple minutes and just write some notes down on there. But I want you to think about applying this 12-week year to your goals. So whether you already started it or you're starting fresh, it doesn't matter. We want to think about these SMART goals. Remember I said, we learned this a long time ago. SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Time-bound meaning like, don't just be like, I'm going to go on vacation. When? July? May? September? You have to be working towards something. It has to be specific, also measurable. I'm going to build my email list. So I'm going to start a Facebook group, grow a Facebook group. Well, let's make it measurable. I want 500 people in my Facebook group by July. Be very clear. That's the only way we can measure it. That's the only way we can hold each other accountable. You can hold yourself accountable, and you can measure those results in the analytics or anything. KPIs is the phrase I was looking for. You can't do KPIs. You can't tell if what's working if you're not tracking anything. All right. So you want to turn your 12-week goals into weekly action plans. So right now, you probably already have in your head and your heart what you want this year to look like. And now you just got to think about, okay, this is the 12-week, we're already in it, the 12-week year. This quarter, what do you want this quarter to look like? What are your goals? Then we take what you're going to do just in January, and then we're going to break it down with the weeks we have left in January. Does anybody have any questions where I'm going with this and how we're breaking this down?
No, when I click on the doc, it's not giving me the option to make a copy.
Let me see. What is it doing?
To make a copy is grayed out.
Really? Give me 1 second. It's opening for me. Well, of course, it's going to allow me to. Is anybody else having that issue? Let me check the sharing. Make sure it says, well, let me just give you another. Let's try this link. I'm just recopying the link. It says anyone with the link is a viewer.
I made a copy.
Okay, you were able to make one?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so try the new link to Shanta and Taquan.
So it initially didn't ask me to make a copy, which some of your documents do. It just pops up. This one
Yeah.
didn't.
You had to go to file.
I had to go to file, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, so everyone's clear what we're doing. Actionable steps, identify those key actions that you're going to take each week. We're getting this down to week. So once we get that down, then we can continue talking in Voxer or on our call on Thursday about what your week looks like and when you're going to time block and block your time out. Because even if you get down to the really granular level where you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing this week, that's great, but you have to build in the time. So does anybody already have like their sacred time or time blocks already set for when they're going to do their work in their business on a weekly basis? Like, is Tuesdays your day or Wednesdays from 5 to 9? What does that look like for everyone? You can just unmute yourself or put it in the chat.
I've been being more intentional about it because I'm now doing, my practicum client. So that's Monday evening. So I've been trying to be intentional about doing something another night of the week. And I just kind of tell my family, oh no, I'm meeting a client. And I just kind of go away. And I'm working on something else.
Okay. All right. So you have set, that's kind of forced you to get really intentional. Sharika said, I had it and then got thrown a curveball tonight with daycare. So it's late nights. Yeah, Sharika, I know you work a lot of late nights. And that's just the story of parenting. Fridays. Okay, Patrice says Fridays I don't see clients, reserve those days to work in my businesses. Good. Taquin says mine are Mondays and Wednesdays. I got away from it and now I'm getting back to it. Yes. So that time blocking is very important. One of the other things I want to put on everyone's radar when you're thinking about your quarters, I don't know, did everyone get a yearly planner yet? Does everybody have a yearly planner? I know we're talking about the 12-week year, we're talking about quarters, but if you have a year planner, you want to, when you think about your planning process, right? And you all have access to that planning calendar training that I did as well. That's also in the portal. And it talks to you about how to approach the planning right from the beginning. So we're talking about 12-week year, but if we think about it as a broader sense of, okay, I want to plan my 2024. The first thing that goes on the calendar that you block in safeguard is your personal time. So birthdays, any other holidays that you have family, it's a big deal to your family. Holiday could be your dog's birthday. It could be a special moment, whatever it is. Those are the first things that go on the calendar. You block off those personal things, vacations, family time, birthdays, excuse me. No work times first. Put them on there. Declare it. Just decide. Like, I'm taking a week off for my birthday. That's it. Don't talk to me. Block it on your Google Calendar, on your paper calendar, whatever system you're using. Okay. Then you want to think about setting aside time to for your self-care, therapy, lunch, any of the personal things. Okay. And then we get to, okay. And then those of you that are employed, right? Obviously, you have to work. So that needs to, like, clearly just put it on there. Like, these are the times. The same way you would see a client, like Keisha said, or the same way Patrice is seeing her clients, those are on the calendar. So I already know that those times, like, so you're not like scrummaging, like, oh, Wednesday, they want to meet on Wednesday. And it's like, well, you already know you're gonna be at work until 3. What are we doing? Right? What are we doing? So just put it on there, block it. Then the next piece is to find 2-hour blocks of sacred time. That could be daily, that could be weekly, whenever. Just block it. Don't assign tasks to it. Just block it and set it aside. Okay, so now when we do our 12-week year, we have these blocks of time. So Patrice's will probably be on Fridays, and Taquin said, I think she said Monday and Wednesday, and whatever yours are, then you can put those tasks that you're building into that 12-week plan into the week in those blocks of time. So if my block of time is Friday from 12 to 2, and I want to write an email sequence because that's one of the things that I need to do because that's part of my 12-week year plan is to have my email sequences up, then I'm going to write 4 emails on Friday between 12 and 2. I'm just going to add it in there as a task. Okay. I'm going to write this down here if anybody needs it. And Shashawn, this calendar training is inside. How do I format this? I'm trying to give you all, oh, here it is. Yay. It worked. It's inside the portal under bonus trainings. I think it's under bonus trainings. Drag and drop from Google Tasks into Google Cal. Listen, oh, you know you can make tasks inside the Google Calendar too. And you can make tasks from your Gmail email. It has a little task button. You can just create a task out of the email. G Suite is winning. Everything is a task, like literally. And I have to task out my day, my week. Yes, the member site. Shashawn, let me know if you need the link. I have to task out my Gmail. So like even every morning at 8 a.m., there's a Google task on my calendar that says text kids. I have a group chat with my children. I text them something motivational, inspirational, funny, whatever it is, a check-in, be safe, be smart, remember who you are, whatever mommy has to say to them, I say it every single morning at 8 a.m. They talk to me all throughout the day, but that's the one thing they can count on with me every single day. But it's a task on my Google Calendar. Okay, give me a second and I'll get that for y'all. So I'm gonna just take a couple minutes and write out what's in your head. And while I try to give you the link, open that doc, write just workshop. Let's just take a couple minutes to just workshop out. I know our time is coming up, but I just want to give you a moment because we've talked about a lot. I want to give you a moment before we move forward and add anything else onto your plate for you to brain dump what we've already talked about. What you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you want to do, anything that you need. Capture this moment and I'll grab the link. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Good. Okay, so now my question is there anything that's surprising you? Like during today's call, did anything surprise you that come up? come up for you that you want to document or that you just want to talk about? Also, is there anything that came up or that you're really, really clear about that you might want accountability for? And then I'm going to ask Tashanta to write it down. So that'd be one thing that we add into your accountability. Anyone, you can just unmute yourself or put it in the chat, whatever you want. And if not, that's okay too, but you're welcome to share. I just want you to identify how you're feeling, whether that's publicly or personally, and then also what are you going to ask to be held accountable for? So that could be on the weekly threads that are going to be in the group, like we've been doing in Heartbeat, or that could be right here on this call. That could just be what when we talk in Voxer, it's just like during this 12-week year for you, what does that look like?
Hey, Tamara. I just wanted to ask a quick question because I have to log off.
Of course.
Where did you, I'm sorry, is somebody else talking? Am I talking over somebody?
No, I said, of course. I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't.
I thought I heard voices. Where do we find when you were talking about the money management essentials and you were saying there was a budget? Are you giving us a budget?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a budget planner. Kathy and I, we had a call about it. I had already built it and we did a call so I can tell her how to brand it. And I should probably have it for you tomorrow. We
Okay.
have that. And then I also have a bookkeeping spreadsheet that will probably be like another 2 days.
Okay.
But yes, those are both coming this week.
Okay, good stuff. That's what I'm going to be holding myself accountable for, amongst a couple of things in this first quarter. I was just like figuring out, because what I've figured out over the break was that I make good money, but I'm always broke, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I don't think I'm a poor manager of my money. I don't feel that I am. I think I don't know. I have too much outgo. Something's going on, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense that I'm struggling financially when I make decent money.
Right. I totally understand that. I totally understand it. And I think any trackers is tracking it and holding it. It's like the hardest for some of us. It is so hard, including me. It is so hard to like write all the things down. I've gone so far as to I use my calendar and Shashawn asked where this training is. That training is in the mastermind program inside the portal and it's under bonuses. And when I talk about the calendar is so important to me because even when like my bills come out or I get an invoice or someone makes a pay, those are all added into a special space. So like if I spend something, a receipt comes through, I have it filed in my Gmail. It's just under receipts. So that at the end of the week, when I do my CEO day is Friday, I go in and look at all those receipts and I write them down. I make sure they get into my budget, my tracker. So I don't have to worry. So like there's a reminder. So no, I can look at that and I also can match it with my bank account and like everything, you know what I mean? Like it depends on, what system you're using. And we can talk about all those things. And if you want, I can bring a financial person in too, because I don't have one so far on the books for our experts, but I absolutely could bring somebody. And actually, Patrice, I'm thinking about, did you have, who has Kristen? Did Trinity or no, did Trinity have Kristen as her mentor? Who was Trinity's mentor?
I can't remember the lady. It was a white lady.
White lady, it was probably Kristen.
No, Trinity has a male. Journey has a female.
Oh, Trinity might have had Jeff.
I think that's who Trinity
That's Kristen's husband. So they're bookkeepers. And so their business is called Bookkeeper Training School. And they train stay-at-home moms to build bookkeeping businesses from home.
Oh.
So that's what that's like their company. They built a multi-million-dollar company and it like their course is like $400 or something but they've sold millions of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they were sponsors for RamCon. So I was thinking, so Kristen's in my mastermind. So her or somebody else, I'll find somebody to come in and just talk about the basics, like things that need to be on our radar. And then also, what does that look like when we go into our business? So we got our personal, then we got our business side. And then are we paying ourselves and how much should we be paying ourselves? Those kind of things.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cause I was like, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable and just say what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fine. I appreciate it because
and I don't know why.
Yeah, we all have that. We all listen, you're not alone.
You sure ain't. You are not
No.
alone. The
Well,
math don't be math.
Keisha said,
well,
makes
I'm
me
struggling.
cry.
I know why.
Yeah. It's my challenge and I always feel like I deserve. I understand, Keisha. Yeah. See? That's the vulnerability piece. We all have a lot, you know, we a lot of us have the same things happening. So no shame in our game. We just gotta, because if we don't say what we need, how do we fix it? How do we get better? How do we get to the next best step? You know? So this is good. All right. So yeah, so those I'll have for you. The budget one, like I said, was already done. She was just like just making it pretty, and also she was checking my formulas. So that one she'll probably send it to me tonight. I don't know. She usually works when I'm not working. And then so I can drop that for you guys in the morning. And then the other one, like I said, is a bookkeeping one, more for business, tracking expenses and payments that are coming in. So that way, if anyone needed that one, you can use that as well. Okay. Awesome. So if anyone needs to go, that's fine. This was just opening the floor. If anybody wants to talk about anything, Q&A. And then anything you want to talk about, about what's next. I shared with you all, you know, we're going to be focusing more on the RAM method this new year, that revenue, authority, and that mastery. Revenue being a huge focus of this year, like I said, and the budget sheet releases this week. I just mentioned that. And then the authority piece, we're going to be using the accelerator tactics that we'll be implementing together on a monthly basis. And then also we have that mastery piece, which is what I'm taking that on under our solving that mastery piece by implementing our monthly master classes and our experts, and also implementation sessions in our weekly calls and Boxer. Okay. And then the last slide I had was just, again, reminding you of the support, and just so if anybody had any questions around that, we can come back to it. Okay. I'm going to stop my share, just so I can see, because I can't see. Okay. I see Nicole has her hand up. Is that Nicole? Yes, Nicole. All right. I'm going to remove my spotlight and go to gallery view. All right, Nicole, what's up?
Okay, so for me, my accountability piece, like I'm great with motivating and encouraging others. I do a great job with it, but for whatever reason, like when it comes to me and myself and my business, it's like the coach needs coaching. And so just even like with Tashanta when she's asking us, okay, our goals, and like just so she knows that I'm okay, not quote unquote the harassment, but that's okay with me. Like that's my language. It's cool. It may take me a minute to respond, but it's not that I'm ignoring her. Like I need it. And sometimes it just takes me time to channel through it. But I need to be held accountable because I want to grow, and I need that. And I need to get better with doing it for myself the same way I go hard for other people. Because I'm a big baby. My meltdowns are just horrible because I know what I'm capable of and I know what I ask God for. And sometimes he responds, I need to be ready when I ask him for this stuff and it comes knocking at my door. Yeah.
I understand. And Nicole, I think everything you said was felt by everybody else here in the room. And there are some people that are like, Keisha just said, that's a word. Like thank you for sharing that. And again, it resonates with so many of us. So absolutely, the coach always needs a coach. And so yeah, so Tashanta, you got that? Somebody else put something else. Oh, that's Sasha. She said, I need accountability around bookkeeping as well. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm going to download the chat because the chat today was really good. So I'll download. I try to grab it if I remember, but I need to be more intentional about grabbing that chat. So I give you all access to it. Because right now we're doing the video and the audio and sometimes chat. So I want the chat to be, because y'all be talking to each other and support each other. And I think it'd be helpful to come back and see what other people had to say, especially if it was in direct response to something that you mentioned need or whatever. All right. Does anybody else have anything else they want to share? questions, thoughts?
I Tashonda need accountability with also, well, not bookkeeping because that's already overwhelming me because I done messed up last year. But with time blocking, I need to make sure I've done it, and I need to use the SMART method. So when you check in with me, you can find out when I'm going to do it, how long I'm going to spend. Because I'll say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it on Tuesday, and Tuesday will come and go 3 times, and I'm still waiting for the Tuesday to do it. So I need the SMART method real bad in every aspect of my life.
Love it.
Nicole, can you repeat what you said really quick? I ran downstairs really quick. Someone's at the door.
No problem. So just your check-ins in terms of what are we working on so that you can hold us accountable. I know sometimes it may take me longer to respond, or it may seem as though I'm ignoring you, but I still need it. Like, I need to be held accountable. I need the reminder. So even if it's me just jotting my notes down to myself, so I don't feel like you're attacking me or it's going upon deaf ears or you're harassing me. I need it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, got it. No problem. And I got yours, Shashan. Your course will be done by Friday.
Mhm. Awesome. April.
I don't know that this falls on accountability, but I always forget I have that, I can have a one-on-one call with you monthly.
Yeah.
And I think I've only ever had one with you, because I forget all about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wait.
Yeah, a
until
lot of people do. That's why I
Thursdays to
keep
anyway.
saying it, because y'all, it wasn't originally included, but I was like, I need to talk to y'all. I just felt like I didn't want it. It was something I wanted to do because I feel like it would be helpful. So yes, absolutely. So I can send the link, and actually I'll send it in Boxer. So if anybody else has not booked their calls, I know some of y'all have booked calls because I think the calendar's open it was open for 60 days, but this time I need to look at it because I want to open it for a quarter at a time. So I'll make sure I'll check that as soon as we hang up, and I'll put it in Voxer so everyone can grab the link and book your calls. Okay. And what calls meaning you can go ahead and, put it on your calendar for each month. So that way you don't have to think about it. It just be set. Since we're talking about time blocking, I want to make sure it's set. Keisha said the hours never work. You said you need after 5?
6. But I
Oh,
think your only days were, yeah, because right now I'm in class on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 9:30, and Thursday is our meeting.
yeah.
I could do after 5 on
Say that again, just for me again. You said you're in class.
Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 9:30, and Thursday is the mastermind meeting. So
So that's the issue, Tuesday, because I do calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so none of them work for you.
Mhm.
All right, I have to look at my calendar and see when I can accommodate you, because my coaching days are Tuesday and Thursday. So
yeah,
you and
'cause
I,
remember I was trying to do them during my lunch break, but sometimes it just wouldn't.
yeah, that wasn't working, and I don't like
Yeah.
that either for you. It's fine for me, but I don't like it for you because I feel like there's no plan. It just doesn't feel like it would
Mhm.
work for you. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. I can imagine. That stop and start. And that's another thing. And I appreciate you saying that, Keisha, because that's another way of you paying attention and just being like, that doesn't work for me. I tried it. It didn't work, as opposed to keep
Yeah.
forcing it. Right. And that's what we all need to do. That's what I talk about, taking inventory. How do I feel? Is this serving me? How should I make a change? Like, we all need to do that. Like, instead of like
Mhm.
squeezing things in places where they don't belong and it
Right.
causes stress, or you end up having to call with me, but you don't get nothing done because you jump right back into work and then life happens.
Right.
So
Right. And
yeah,
that's just why I was like, I have to separate the two. I'm going to give what they give this year. If they're
right,
not giving 100%, I can't give them 100% because I need to do me right now. So,
right.
because we
Yeah.
all can't be sitting still doing nothing.
Yeah. So Shashan, absolutely, Keisha. So I'm going to look at my calendar so I can post a link right after we hang up. And I'll also see when I can, I'm not putting it on a calendar. So I have to figure out how we're going to make it work, but we'll make it work.
Okay, that's fine.
Shashan said, I didn't see Taquin. Oh, but if you got Taquin, okay. Okay, so Sean said, can the kids have a call too? So typically the kids I meet with the kids during our family meetup for Young Mogul Prep School, and that's once a month. And that's me. And then if you have something specific, you and I can talk about it with the kids and they can join the call with you. So that's fine. And then some of the other things we've done, and it's usually a case by case, like if there's something going on, like for example, when Isis was getting ready for a pitch competition, I could have met with her to help her to prepare her for the pitch competition. Instead, she met with Xandra because that's something she's an expert in. So they did a separate call. So you just tell me what you need and we'll make it work. Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to say, where's Sharika? Sharika and I started talking about doing something separate and specific for the kids that are just in the mastermind for that reason, Shashan. So thank you for saying that, for that encouragement and that accountability. And I think other parents are seeing that as well. So that's something I really need to consider and think about how we can make that work. Because right now it's like, I'm in this point, especially with like adding on the marketing tactics, like there's things that I know that I need to implement with you all or to put in place for you all in order to keep you moving forward. Because I feel like if we don't do it together, you're not going to get it done, which is perfectly fine. No judgment there. That's just how community works, right? And that's what you're investing in. So I'm committed to doing that. But at the same time, I'm like, how do I make it so that you're not spending all your time in class or on a Zoom call with me or with us, and you don't have space to live life and do the things and implement, right? So it's a really interesting balance. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I'm glad that Shashan asked that because I was gonna have a similar question, especially for the ones that graduated from the Young Mogul Speaker Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they just need that refresher and just additional tips to help them, continue to get better in their
Right.
craft.
Right. So that's another reason why I shifted. So Young Mogul Prep School is technically a course. It's like a do-it-yourself course right now. We might change it later on, but the family meeting meetup is for everyone. Anyone that's been a part of it, graduated, anyone. And that's why it's an opportunity for us to come together as a community. But what I do want to do is figure out what the next level of that looks like. You know what I mean? What the next level of that looks like. And I don't have the answer yet. But thank you for bringing it up. I appreciate you both. Does anybody else have a question?
I have a question. I kind of got disconnected, so I don't know if anyone asked this. Do you have any videos or courses about the back end and everything? Like the back end of Facebook, back end of Shopify, PayPal. Like I kind of got everything up and to make the products to do all that, but then I'm like I still like I need like the back end, like putting everything onto Shopify. Like I kind of have it set up, but I don't have it public yet. I need to take my photos, put it in the product descriptions and the pricing and the weights, like all of that pieces.
Yeah, so no, I don't, but I can figure out a solution. So last time we talked, in regard to the Shopify, I was working on getting you access to the Shopify course from Macy. But the drawback with that is that it was hours and hours long, and she was supposed to be condensing it for us so it can actually be like a bite-sized pieces of something, as opposed to like you having to sit there for 4 hours to learn how to do something. I felt like that would be overwhelming. But I thought you were going to get with Sharika as well. Sharika, what happened?
No, Sharika's helping me, but I also feel bad having her to help me because I know she's
No. I didn't think she was going to help you because I know Sharika ain't got no time for no thing.
Exactly.
I thought she was giving you access to the Shopify course that she had. That's what I was doing.
We bartered. I gave her a shirt and she gave me business.
Okay, I thought you were giving her access to the course. So that's why
I forgot. That's a mom brain thing, but yeah. I was just like, just do this. I just told her what to
so
do.
let me go back to Macy and see about that. But in regards to PayPal and the back end of Facebook, I can find trainings for you. I do not have any, but I'm sure I can find something that's super user friendly, and maybe if YouTube tutorials, there's something out there. So I can do some research and find tutorials for you.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. No problemo. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? How's everybody feeling?
I'm feeling great. I went to brunch at 1. I just got home at 7. So I had an awesome day.
Hey, I love that. All right. Rashida, you good? All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, so we're going to end the call for tonight. I want to thank you all for your time and attention. Thank you for agreeing to a new day, a new time. Going forward, I'm going to give you more time, of course, but we're going to have to be flexible because we have a lot of stuff to get done. And we can't just get it done on one call a week, that we need to be doing more, right? So I want to make sure you're not slipping through my fingers and I'm not losing track of anyone, and we're holding you accountable and you're actually hitting the mark, right? So this 12-week year plan, please find some time in your schedule this week to actually build it out. Share your doc with me. Drop it. You don't even have to submit it as an audit. Just send me the link in Voxer. You guys add me onto it in my email, but just send me the link to it and let me know you sent it, because I'm not in my email. Zena and Kathy and sometimes James are in my email. So I might not see it come through because they file everything. So until I get to my email time block, which is on my calendar, I won't really know what they set aside for me. So if you want me to see things quickly, Voxer is where I'm at. Okay. Well, you're getting me. There's nobody else in there. It's just me. All right. So I'm going to take a couple minutes after we close out to get the calendar right. And yes, is that his? Yep. Moran. Yep. That's it, Nicole. The cover's a little bit different, but yeah, just make sure you get the most recent version. But yes, that's it. All right. I'll talk to you all soon. Go ahead, Keisha.
Just want to hold on. I mean, not just tomorrow, real quick. What is the turnaround time on design?
The design,
Like if I submit a design.
I think it's like 3 to 5 days. If you need it faster, it's just because a lot of people sometimes, and I put that disclaimer on there. I don't know what it says on that form. It tells you on there, and I put the time limit on there because sometimes if 3 people put something in, and then we have to go back and forth, So just get it as soon as possible. But if it's something, if it's an emergency, then I can make an executive decision and be like, well, this is this weekend. Can you do this one first?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to see if I want to use the brand board that I have, as my counter, as the thing I was telling you about, or if I wanted to have something else done. But okay. That's good to know.
I mean, if you have time, play around with it. You guys have access to it. And the other thing is, do not be afraid to follow up. Tarquin's good at being like, I'm checking in on what the hell? And I appreciate that. I need that because I need to know if they're paying attention, if I need to be paying attention, So whatever.
Okay.
All right. All right, friends. I will talk to everyone. Have an amazing night. And again, thank you for rocking with me today.
Good night,
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, Shanta.